So we have had the Fuji X-T3 for, I believe it's in and around 6 months now. And the question is, was it the right choice? Should we have spent a bit more and got an X-T4 or maybe even an XS10? And in this video, I'm going to let you know whether or not we made the right choice. Not a bad day for it either. Might get some photos if I'm lucky too. And just before we get into this one, I just want to do a little bit of self-promo while I've got the most ridiculous vlogging setup ever. I've got the camera on the end of the tripod and it's all extended. I just wanted to let you know that we have been working on a preset pack. We've got a few comments over the past couple of years just asking how we edit our photos and stuff. And it's been something I wanted to do for a while. So just wanted to let you know I am working on that. I did mention it in a community post, I think, on YouTube. But yeah, just wanted to let you know, and that will be coming quite soon. I'll keep you posted in the videos and stuff. So we actually did a similar video a few months back, quite a few months back now, where we talked about our Fuji X-T3 after 6 months. We talked about film simulations, usability, all that stuff. And I didn't know with this video whether or not I should do something slightly different, but I think it makes sense to run through pretty much the same points because I think that'll make more sense and that will probably allow you guys to get the information that you probably want from a video like this. Well, hopefully. So, film simulations. I talked about them in the previous video with the X-T3 and I love them. The X-T3 has the exact same film simulations and I still love them. Yes, the X-T4 and the XS10 do have a couple of extra film simulations, I believe, but honestly, that doesn't really bother me. The one I use is Astia Soft. That's what I'm using now, and that's what I use in all our videos. And yeah, I just love how it looks. I don't know if I would use the new ones or not, but I'm not really bothered that I don't have them. So yeah, the film simulations on the X-T3, just like the X-T3, pretty great. I feel like in this video, I'm probably just gonna be sitting on various rocks until I get to the top of this mountain talking. But I mean, I suppose it could be worse. Video recording options. This one might bore you to death a little bit, so I'll try and fly through it. The X-T3 will allow you to record 4K files at 200 megabits a second. It also allows you to record 4K files at 400 megabits a second, and it can do 10-bit internal. That is better than the X-T3 and the XS10 because they can only do 4K 200 megabit files. They can't do 10-bit internal and they can't record 400 megabit files. The X-T4 can do the same as the X-T3, 400 megabit files and 10-bit internal. I know you're already bored. So if you're more of a filmmaker, then that might be something that interests you if you like to have a lot of room to color grade your video clips. I actually did a little comparison between those different video recording options a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago now. Kind of lose track of time. I'll link it up here, whichever corner up here if you want to check it out, just to see what the actual difference is. If you don't really know what any of that means, then it probably doesn't really matter to you and you probably don't need it. The 200 megabit files look great and that's what I'm using now and that's what I use in all of our videos. So it's up to you whether or not you think you need 10-bit internal and the 400 megabit files. I would bet you probably don't. I wouldn't make that a big factor in your decision as to which camera you get. Whew. Tough. I really need to get fitter when it comes to hiking. I feel like this might make for a nice photo. Got the path going up into the mountains. Not sure about the light, probably going to be a black and white, but we'll see. Fuji X-T3 35mm f2. Yeah, probably a bit wide, but pretty moody looking, I would say. Okay, so this might be a big one for you filmmakers out there. The X-T3, just like the X-T30 that I'm filming on, does not have in-body stabilization. Now, we have managed with the X-T30 and we have managed so far with the X-T3, but if you don't have a stabilized lens like the 18 to 55mm, it can certainly be tricky, and in a lot of cases, unless you're using warp stabilizer for every clip, probably unusable. So definitely something to be aware of. The X-T4 and the XS10 both have in-body stabilization, which in my opinion is probably the biggest advantage that they both have over the X-T3. Well, there you go. Even with my not so great fitness levels, made it to the top. This thing's shaky though. See what I mean by not ideal for vlogging, even though I am holding it on the end of a tripod. Probably actually more stable this way, is it? Than just a small tripod. Made it to the top. Should have brought some snacks though, to be fair. A little bit hungry. Quite the view though, isn't it? Took a few shots there, a few black and whites I think they're gonna be. See when I get home I'll try and edit them and see what I'm dealing with. Just realised I filmed that in manual focus, so camera's maybe not ideal for vlogging, and neither am I. So when it comes to usability, this is where our X-T3 sits a little bit above our X-T30. First of all, just simply holding the camera is a lot nicer. It's a bit chunkier, so it has a nice grip and it just feels really nice in the hand. The buttons are all placed kind of where they feel like they should be. The X-T30, if you've seen our original video, is definitely a lot different. It's a smaller camera. The grip is almost non-existent. We actually had to buy a grip and put it on, which does make it feel a lot better, but obviously that's the way the X-T3 comes, so you don't have to buy an added grip, which is nice. The buttons on the X-T30 are also just crammed in a little bit more. It's not bad, I still like it. It's just crammed in a little bit more because there's not as much room as there is on the X-T3. Just a little bit chunkier, a little bit nicer to hold. The X-T3 also has multiple SD slots. Not like you're going to see them from way back there, so I'm not going to show you. It has multiple SD slots, so you can put 2 memory cards in, fill one up, and if you need a backup, you can start using it as well, or use one for video, one for photo, I think. We haven't actually made use of that yet. It is something that I think we probably will use more in future, and it's a nice bonus that it has it over the X-T30. The X-T4 also has the dual memory card slots, but the XS10 does not. It just has one, just like the X-T30. When it comes to the screen, the X-T3 also, again, sits above the X-T30, which just has the tilting screen, which, I mean, at least it has the tilting screen, but that's all it has. The X-T3, again, you're probably not going to see it from here, so I might have to put some B-roll on, has the tilting screen, but it also has the, is it articulating screen or vertical tilting screen, which is nice, but you can't really vlog with it. The screen doesn't tilt the whole way around, and that is one advantage that the X-T4 and XS10 have over both the X-T30 and the X-T3 and X-T30. Both the X-T4 and the XS10 have fully articulating front-facing screens, so essentially if you need to vlog with them or film yourself, you can and see yourself. In the X-T30 video that we did, we mentioned that the way around this for us was to just buy a little mirror which reflects the screen, and you can then see yourself, which is a very cheap fix for that. But yeah, it's just another thing to remember, or another thing to forget in my case. Fingers crossed that this little wind muffler in my lav mic is doing what it should do, because I'll be really annoyed if it doesn't. So time for some more ridiculous vlogging. So weather sealing. The X-T3 has none. So when it rains, the X-T3 can't really come out to play for too long. This is a bit ridiculous on my left arm here. The X-T3 is fully weather sealed, which is nice. And the 35mm f2, which I have on it at the minute, is also weather sealed. So we have a fully weather sealed setup, which means that when it rains, I'm not rushing to pack things away, which is obviously nice. All right, that's a bit ridiculous in the arm. This might have to do. It's quite the power stance here, even though you can't really see it. So yeah, quite nice to have a fully weather sealed setup, but it obviously depends what lens you put on the camera. If you put a lens on that's not weather sealed, then it kind of defeats the purpose. The X-T4 is also fully weather sealed, the XS10 is not. So yeah, you've got some choices to make there. So another nice advantage that the X-T3 has over the X-T30 is there's no more silly little auxiliary cable adapter thing, which is really annoying because there's nothing worse than setting out all your camera stuff, getting ready to go on a hike or wherever you're going, packing all your stuff into your bag, driving to your location, maybe going for a hike up a mountain like this, and then, oh, look what I forgot, I can't record any audio because I don't have the adapter. That is not the case with the X-T3. It just takes the normal 3.5mm auxiliary jack, which means you can just plug any of your mics in, your headphones, whatever. Simple. No more adapter, not another little thing to forget about, which is nice. I believe the X-T4 also just has the regular 3.5mm. I also believe the XS10 has the normal little 3.5mm auxiliary jack, which is how they all should be. Not sure why the X-T30 has that. I'm sure there's a reason, but yeah, a little silly. I do believe there is rain coming. There was rain in the forecast. So I think I'll just finish this one here. Is the X-T3 worth it? And to be plain and simple, yes. The X-T3 used is pretty much the same or in and around the same as the X-T30, and it's a couple of hundred, in my case, pounds cheaper than both the X-T4 and the XS10. I think realistically it just comes down to whether or not you want or need IBIS. If you do, then the X-T4 or XS10 would probably be a better choice for you. If not, and you're happy enough to just get a stabilized lens and work away, the X-T3 is a great camera for both photo and video. When it comes to quality, they're essentially all the same, so it just comes down to things like IBIS, multiple memory card slots and things like that. But for me, the X-T3 has been a great choice. Maybe at some point I'll upgrade to the X-T4 just for that stabilization. Now that the X-T5's out, the X-T4 will be a little bit cheaper, so maybe in the near future I'll upgrade, but for now, loving the X-T3. Hopefully this one was helpful to you in some way or other and maybe helps with your decision as to what camera you're going to go for. If you have any more questions, drop them in the comments below or maybe jump in the Discord. There's quite a few Fuji users in there. We can sort of help you out. I'm going to head back down now before the rain comes and I get soaked. But yeah, hopefully it was helpful to you. If it was, maybe give the video a thumbs up. Maybe consider subscribing if you want to see more. And I think that's pretty much it for this one. So, as we always say, take it easy. Don't be a stranger. Yeah, there's definitely rain coming.